So the camera had actually turned itself off, so I'm not sure how much of the journey it actually got. It might only have been an hour and a half odd, so we'll have to check all that when we get back and put it on the computer. So I thought I'd kick it off again. I've still got the original card and battery in there, so I'll swap all that over when I go and get a bite to eat and gas up and stuff. Yeah, so looks as if the camera had turned itself off again, so I'm not sure how much of that it actually got. So I haven't swapped the battery and the card over yet. I'll go back to that gas station and get a bite to eat and a drink, gas up, and swap the battery and the card over for the return trip. Yeah, so it's really annoying how the camera turns itself off sometimes, because you never really know how much of the trip you actually got. So there's the mountains over there. Right, so I'm going to stop in here and gas up, get a drink, bite to eat, and swap all the cards and things over. Yep.
Can you let me have my Daniels? Gross.
What are we? Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Pump number 6, I think.
Sure. Any drinks or anything today?
Yeah, I will actually. I'll go and get there and come back.
Yeah, no worries.
Hi,
you want to for that? Okay, so
just not sure if that is actually running, because that's what I did before, and it doesn't appear to have turned on. So, yep, that's running. Cool. So that's what I thought I'd done on the way up here, but looks as if the camera wasn't even on at all, so it doesn't look like I've captured any of the trip up here. So that's Taupo, but it looks as if the camera didn't start on the way up here, so it doesn't look like I've captured any of the trip up here. So I haven't bothered changing the battery or the SD card or anything like that, because the camera's still showing as having 2.5 hours worth of footage left on it. And at the resolution that I've got the camera set at, that's what it showed the other end. So I think it must have turned itself off somehow, which is a bit of a shame, because to get the trip on the way up, I'm going to have to do it again. But this is Lake Taupo. Lake Taupo is an active volcano, believe it or not. It's gets very, very deep, very, very fast, and is sitting on top of a volcanic caldera like Yellowstone in Yosemite. Not as big as that one, of course, but it's a huge lake, and it's an active volcano, and is estimated to be 600,000 years overdue for an eruption. So don't really know what that means. And off in the distance, hopefully the camera can pick it up, that big one is Mount Ruapehu, the back of Mount Ruapehu. Then you've got Tongariro immediately in front of that one from this angle, and then just off to the side of that, the smaller one is Ruapehu, Ngauruhoe and Tongariro. Those three are active volcanoes, so is the lake. So we came up this side, the national park side, through the Parapara, and we cut across at Turangi. We're going to go back down this way, down the desert road to Wairau, and then cut across again to Ohakune, then back down to Wanganui. So if the camera didn't start, then I did all this trip all the way up here talking to myself. So yeah, based on the settings on the camera when I left, it looks as if nothing's gone. The battery hasn't gone down, and the amount of time available on the SD card is still the same, so probably haven't got any of it. So I'm going to head back down to Wanganui now. So that's quite a good view there. Hopefully the camera can pick that up of the lake. So it's a huge lake, and the mountain in the background. Well, there's three mountains there right beside each other. So I'm probably not talking much at the moment because I was talking the whole way up. and turns out I might have been talking to myself. More talked out. But those mountains over there look amazing. Yes, I wanted to do from where we left off in April at the National Park Viaduct, and then finish the run up to Taupo, but it seems that the camera didn't start properly and it hasn't run. So then I was going to do this trip from Taupo back home. So there's a section in the middle that's missed. But I'll find out when I get home, put the card in the computer, see what I have captured. I might just have to do the run again at some point. So there's a lot of trout hatcheries around here that breed trout and release them back into the lake for the anglers. And I've done 244 kilometers to get here, so I've got to do that much again to get back home. So it's going to be a big round trip of a little bit less than 500 kilometers. So I'm just going to hunker on down and just enjoy the ride home. A lot of gorse along here. It's not native to New Zealand. It was brought over a couple of hundred years ago by the English settlers, thinking it would be good to use for a hedge, as they do in England. But it's just taken off here, gone wild, and there's a bit of a problem. Just see the tips of the mountains over the trees over there. Ruapehu and then Tongariro. Coming down on Lake Taupo. Looks like the ocean, but it's not, it's a lake. Back into Wanganui about 8 o'clock tonight. We've come 254 kilometres so far, and we're on our way back. So this is Lake Taupo, beautiful clear lake. Is an active volcano. So they're sitting on a massive caldera, not as big as Yellowstone in Yosemite, but yeah, this lake is basically one huge volcanic vent with a caldera of magma underneath it. And there's something like 600,000 years overdue from its next eruption. So we're talking geological terms, so millions of years in its cycle, with it being way overdue now. The other mountains, Ruapehu, Tongariro and Narahoe, they're active volcanoes as well, and they erupt sort of regularly. Ruapehu erupted, I think, 5 years ago, and Tongariro, you can see wisps of steam coming out at one end. But yeah, the camera won't pick it up. But that's really clear water. I can see that below is really shallow just in here in the edges, and I can see through. So the sun's directly ahead of me, so I'm heading west, and that's the lake. That's a massive lake. So this is the return trip home. I came up to Taupo, and that's not sure the actual distance, but we've done 261 kilometers so far. We're on our return trip home. That's Lake Taupo, huge lake. Now ahead of me, hopefully the camera can pick it up, is Mount Tongariro with wisps of steam coming out of it. And then behind that is Narahoe, and then behind that is Ruapehu. All three of them are active volcanoes. And we came up the national park side through Turangi. We're going to go back down this way via the desert road, Waiuru, Ohakune, home. So Ruapehu's covered in snow, Narahoe's covered in snow, Tongariro's got snow on the other side. Not sure if I can see much snow on this side, but you'll see wisps of steam coming up out of Tongariro. And as I was talking about on the way up here, and I'm not sure if it's been captured now, I've been thinking for quite some time about going to a cruiser. This is a sport tourer, CBR 1000F, Honda, 1994 model. This is my second one of these, and I've had two other sport tourers over the years. But I'm 48 years old now and feeling it in my knees, because you got the sort of more sporty stance on there, not as hunched up as the super sports are that people are riding around, but I'm sort of thinking about going the cruiser way and just relaxing a bit more, because my riding style is, just cruise along anyway, stick pretty close to the speed limit. Yes, I've been thinking about that. And as I've said on other videos, New Zealand's a unique sort of a place where you can drive for 2 hours in any direction and get something completely different. And as I was saying on the way up, like here we've got the lakes. Further north we've got subtropical rainforests. On the west coast where I live, we've got black iron sand beaches, and on the east coast we've got white sand beaches. And the water over there in the Tasman, it's sort of a little bit murky, you can't really see very well, but on the east coast it's nice clear water. Got the glaciers down south. Around the mountain area, we're going to go back down via the desert road. It's not like 1 down 4 up in Tucson. It's not that type of desert, it's mountain desert. So and as we came over the plateau the other end, we saw the flora and fauna change, because when we go up to National Park that way, you actually go up quite a lot. It's a huge descent down here to where we are now. I'm not sure how far above sea level Taupo is, but we came a long way down to here, and up there on the plateau you see all of the plant life is completely different to what it is here. And as we go down the desert road, you'll see again it'll go into mountain type desert, not Tucson, Arizona type desert, but yeah, so we're going back down the desert road. And there's the 3 mountains ahead of us. There's other mountain type things over there, but we don't sort of call them mountains here, we just call them hills. There's hills everywhere in New Zealand. But Mount Tongariro, Mount Narahoe, Mount Ruapehu. And Taupo's very popular with the tourists for its lake and the activities on the lake, and trout fishing. There's a lot of hatcheries around here that feed the lake with trout. Yeah, I can see, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there's steam coming up out of Tongariro. So I probably won't be saying too much in this trip, because I don't know if my camera's turned itself off again. But we'll see when I get home. Which will be in a couple of hours' time. Hopefully a lot of this traffic will be turning off at Turangi. Yes, I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a plume of steam coming up over there. Now, just to head up here somewhere, might be a little bit on yet, there's a sign, an illuminated sign on the left hand side of the road that says slow down, and really thankful for it too, because just beyond that is a tight bend and the start of the desert road. So when we see that, we'll know things are changing a little bit. Yeah, got a bit of a straight ahead now. Not that one, that's not the slow down sign I was talking about. There's another one on the main road just before you hit the desert road, and you'll see the flora and fauna change around there. It's a beautiful clear stream there feeding the lake. You'll see the flora and fauna change. It gets very desert like, and as I said earlier, it's not desert like Saudi Arabia or like 114 up in Tucson. It's mountain desert. Now see how much of this traffic will turn off here. If they don't, I'll just have to work through them and get ahead of them. Right, there's two. Right, that truck's turning off, that's good. So is that, so alright, everyone's turning off, that's great. So we've got a nice clear run, just me, there's one car behind me, all the way to Wairuru. So we've got this bit of a straight here, and there's a sign on the left, an illuminated sign that says slow down, and that's a really good reminder, because then it hooks into a left-hand bend and the start of the desert road, so it's really good. Oh, he's turning off, that's good. So last time I did this stretch was back in April. I had my wife on the back, it's just me today. And April was the beginning of autumn. We're at the end of spring now, so about to go into summer. So it's November 2015. And we're on a 94 model CBR 1000F, and the bike's just humming along at 100 kilometers an hour, just cruising along, which is my normal riding style anyway, just cruise along. So that's another reason why I sort of think I might go to a cruiser. And you got the comfort too. See, I'm in a hunched position. It's a sport tourer, so it's not as hunched as super sports, but I find myself needing to stretch and stuff like that, get quite sore. And we've done what, 285 kilometers so far, so it's a big ride today. Right, we should be coming up on a good left-hand bend soon. Not this one, but no, a little way to go yet. We'll see the tree line start thinning out shortly as we head into the desert road. A lot of those white lines, white arrows on our roads now for the tourists. See the tourist here. New Zealand is one of few countries in the world that drive on the left-hand side of the road. And in video number 3 of my trip to Taupo run, you'll see a map that I put up there shows which countries drive on the left and which countries drive on the right. So we drive on the left hand side of the road here, and a lot of tourists, when they get tired, they revert back to what's natural to them, and they end up driving on the wrong side of the road and cause accidents. So I'm not sure what the time is with daylight saving in New Zealand at the moment, and the sun's low in the sky over there in the west, and we're heading sort of southish. And I'm expecting to be back home in Wanganui around about 8 o'clock tonight. So there's the mountains. And I don't know if you can see it, but just over there, there's steam coming up out of Tongariro. We've got Narahoe, we've got Ruapehu over there. So yeah, we've lost the tree line, and we're going to be starting on the desert road shortly. There's a Halls truck up there ahead of me. One of the very first videos I ever uploaded to YouTube was me driving one of these Halls trucks in Christchurch. So I've driven for these guys years ago. We'll just ease past them shortly. I've made comment before on other videos about the airflow over and around these trucks and the turbulent air just in here where I am now. A lot of people might wonder why motorcyclists it's pulled over for me. A lot of people probably wonder why motorcyclists pass cars all the time, particularly trucks, vans, boxy vehicles. The air behind them is all chopped up and turbulent, and it's quite horrible. Cars are the same, but it's not as bad. But that's largely why motorbikes don't like following cars. They always pull out past cars. It's not because they're racing, it's because the only time you see them, they're passing you. And that's because it's not nice for them to sit behind you. Bit of forestry going on there. The forestry we're talking about is not native forests, those are protected, but the pine forests are basically a crop that are purpose grown in New Zealand for harvesting for timber. And that's what this is. And it'll be left fallow for a little while, and then it'll be replanted again. 20 years later they'll be reharvesting it again. So that's just a crop. It's like corn. It's purpose grown to be harvested. Native forest in New Zealand is protected, and is very, very different to pine forests. So this area too, particularly up north of here and all the way down here in this area around the mountains, we have the Kaimanawa horses, which are wild horses in this area. And on over here as well, but on my left is military exercise area, so you'll see tank tracks and stuff like that where military vehicles, white arrow there for tourists, military vehicles move through this area here. You're not really supposed to go hiking in this area because there could be unspent ordnance in there or whatever from the army. So there's the mountains. And this is the desert road. So one down, four up. It's not like your desert. You have a real desert. We just have this type of mountain desert. Trying to keep an eye on the speed. It's easy to crank it up along here because there's absolutely nothing from here until we get to Wairau. Nothing at all. And in the 80s I spent a bit of time in hospital in Wanganui. Had a fractured skull back then, and the guy who was next to me, he was from Bell Block near New Plymouth in Taranaki. He'd smashed his pelvis in a motorcycle accident. He was telling me that he was coming down here one day and there was a V12 Jaguar coming down here that had just opened it right up, and the wind underneath the Jaguar lifted up and flipped it end over end, just because of the sheer speed that it was doing down here. So during the winter this road gets closed because of snow and ice. I'm just cruising along at 100k, speed limit in New Zealand is 100k. Just cruising along. Which is another reason why I might one day go to a cruiser. And in New Zealand we have these suggestions there on the side there. Road signs in New Zealand that are yellow or orange are cautions or warnings, and road signs that are red are law. If it says stop, it'll be in red, that's the law. If it has a speed restriction sign, it'll be in red, so it's law. Anything in orange down there, the centre line, is although I think centre lines are different. A double yellow, you don't pass on those, you just don't. Yellow on this side, you don't pass this way, but you can the other way. But here, cautionary signs, slippery when frosty. Now here we go, there's the slow down sign. Been looking for that one. 25k is the recommended speed around there, so just going to take note of that, because it gets a little bit windy here. And in the winter this is all wet and icy and snowy and stuff like that, so I'm going to slow right down because it's nice and twisty in here. And at the other end of this, see the volcanic layers there? Slippery when wet. 35k is recommended around here. Now these speed recommendations for a truck with a high centre of gravity, then absolutely definitely you would adhere to those. But you can go, you know, quite a bit faster than the recommended, but the recommended is quite comfortable and it's safe, of course. Narrow bridge coming up. See the layers there? The geology around this area is quite interesting, with the mountain and the mountains are volcanoes, and they've been there for millions of years. A little bit wet in here. Is that wet? What is that? Not sure where that discoloration is. Looked like it was wet, but I'm not sure that it actually is. So we're climbing again. Keep hunting for that sixth gear. It doesn't have a sixth gear, only got 5. So yeah, these bikes could do with an extra gear. It's a little bit twisty through here. Once we get to the plateau up here, it's straight for ages and ages. twisties, recommend 45k. We're doing, what are we doing, 100 at the moment. Yeah, during the winter this road is often closed because of snow and ice. Wow, look at that mountain over there. So that one's Ruapehu. Look at those lines and the layers there. The geology here is quite incredible, really. Sun's in the west, getting pretty low in the sky. I don't know what the time is. Over there. Yeah, so this is what we call the desert road. Not much grows here, just tussock grasslands, a few little trees, but not big trees. There's Ruapehu. So we've got Ruapehu, Narahoe and Tongariro. All three are active volcanoes. Here's Narahoe over there. This is where you have to watch your speed, because up here, we're up high, got some big long straights coming up here, apart from those twisties, and nothing ahead of you until we get to Wairau. at those lines, those layers. Still climbing. Ruapehu over there. Right, and I think we're up on the plateau now. Well, shortly anyway. Right, 1 down, 4 up. This is our desert. Not a real desert like your one, but not much grows here. So there we have it, there's the mountains over there.